Hi everyone. So welcome back. Another live stream. My name is Lara Ryan. This is Complete Test Success. Today we are looking at IELTS Speaking Part 2. IELTS Speaking Part 2. So basically what we do in these live streams, so every week we look at a different part of the test. In the speaking live streams, I'll get you guys to come and join me. I'll show you a Part 2 answer and I'll get you to answer it. Obviously in the speaking part, in part 2 of the speaking test, you get 1 minute to make notes and you have to speak for 2 minutes. So we'll do just that in today's lesson. So I have a link that you'll need to click if you want to join me live. So if you go to the comments, you'll see here, link to join me live, click on that link, and then I'll get you in here and I'll show you the part 2 cue card. And the link is also on YouTube. So that's basically it. I'll get some of you to join me and I'll give feedback to you on, your strengths, your weaknesses, what areas you should be focusing on to help improve your score as quickly as possible. And for those of you who don't join me live, feel free to ask any questions you have. You'll also be able to kind of get a better feel for what the examiner is looking for. So, with the person who comes and joins me here, you'll be able to see if you would be looking at the same problems as I've pointed out. Were you worried about things that the examiner isn't worried about? So it'll just help you to focus more on what the examiner wants and what the examiner needs. Hi, XIX. Good to see you here again. Thanks again for your gift. Very, very, very generous of you. Much appreciated, XIX. Hi, Mohammed. Welcome to the lesson. Always good to see you here too. Okay, so it seems like the numbers are a little bit small numbers, low. The numbers are a little bit low today. So if that will affect the lesson or not, I'm not sure. But like I said, we'll get some people to join me and we'll do some practice. Thanks, Mohammed. Okay, so that's it. Click on the link to join me live. We'll do some practice and I'll have some feedback for you. Or if you have some questions and you want to put them in the comments, I'm more than happy to answer those for you as well. Okay, while I'm waiting, let me get some okay, so as well as these live streams, I have what I refer to as live feedback lessons. So those are my free group lessons on Zoom. You can click on the link in the comment there, or you can click on the link in the video description. So again, in those lessons, we go through all parts of the test: reading, writing, listening, speaking, general training, academic, writing task 1, writing task 2, the whole lot. But they're on Zoom, so we'll be talking talking online as opposed to the format here on YouTube. So more free support if you want that. And also I have one-on-one services, practice speaking tests, essay corrections, and one-on-one courses. So there's my email address if you want that. If you want support. Hi, Ahmad. I guess people are thinking that you are on YouTube 1 hour later. You're 100% right. I'm normally an hour later. That's true. I have an important meeting at the normal time. So normally, my clock in Ireland, I normally start at 4, and today I'm starting at 3. So that's very likely, actually, XIX. I didn't even think of that. Yeah, I had no choice but to change it this time. So yeah, very, very, very likely true there. Very likely correct there. My brother, Hello, welcome. Okay, so maybe because I've changed the times, might be that we don't have as many people as normal. So at the moment, I'm being shown that we have 12 people online. If some of you guys want to come join me, please go ahead. If not, we'll probably just finish up a little bit earlier than normal. Bro Code 11, hi to you. Good to see you again. Okay, so if anyone wants to join me, like I said, go ahead. If anyone wants to ask questions in the comments, go ahead. And if we have nothing in the next 2 or 3 minutes, probably just finish up a bit early today. Hey, Pat, good to see you again. Good day to you too. Good that there are fewer people, now we can get the best education. Yeah, there's one way to look at it, for sure. Hi, look back. Welcome to the lesson. My brother, is it true that 3 main body paragraph is now an old trend? My local teacher told me. No. You can, like, the structures aren't particularly strict in the IELTS test. So, like most IELTS teachers, including myself, will show the students different structures so that the student just has an idea of how to structure the essay. But it's not that, like if you look at my structures and if you look at IELTS Liz structures, we don't use the same structures, but she's correct and I'm also correct. So it's not very strict in that there's only one way to do it. It just has to be a logical organization and you need to develop all your ideas. So if you're doing that with 3 main body paragraphs, if you're doing that with 2 main body paragraphs, that genuinely makes no difference. So no, it's not that the IELTS examiner wants a particular organization. It's just that you need to have organization to your answer. Hi, Mina. Bro Code. My friend got 8 overall. Very nice. I'm very energetic, hoping for an 8 as well. Best of luck at that, Bro Code. Hopefully you'll have good news for us soon. Is it likely that any given IELTS test be repeated again? I have heard of students getting the same task 1 question. I heard that happening once, ever, and I've been teaching IELTS since 2010. So I guess technically yes, but how many thousands of students have I interacted with? And it happened once. So I wouldn't rely on that. So, I mean, technically, I think it is possible, but it doesn't have any influence on you or how you prepare for the test. So I wouldn't factor it into your preparation. If there were anybody, I would be very pleased to encourage other people by initiating a short chat. KXIX. How are you going today? Very good. Very good today. Thank you. When using 3MP, I struggle to develop all 3 ideas. Sometimes I write like 400 words. How can I fix it, Mr. Ryan? you just know when to stop. It comes from practice. So what you're saying is when you have 2 body paragraphs, you write 100 words in each paragraph. And when you have 3 body paragraphs, you also write about 100 words in each paragraph. So you need to adapt yourself. It's like, there are only, if you're writing 3 body paragraphs, there should be about 70 words. So do a word count as you're writing, count how many words, not by hand, you just use the computer, like highlight and click word count, and just see how much you've written. Very often what happens to people that would write too much is, they'd write the main idea and the explanation, and that's about 70 words. And then they continue with the example, and now it's 100. So that example wasn't necessary. So very often it's just about stopping when you need to stop and just kind of paying more attention to yourself. If there weren't anybody, for people to short chat. Okay. Hi, Amank. Doing good, thank you. Should I use cap above E in cafe? If I don't, it will be considered wrong. No. If you were doing the paper-based test, I would encourage you to do it because that's how we spell it. But when we're typing, I don't know where that letter E, I don't know how to write that letter in typing. So, for the computer-based test, don't worry about it. In the paper-based test, there's no reason not to just put that little accent or whatever it's called over the E. Is this class 1 hour earlier than before? It is. Yeah. And it is a speak and practice lesson. It is, yeah. Yeah, it is, Stan. The link is up in the video description. I had a meeting. I have a meeting. I have a meeting in 40 minutes. So we went a bit earlier today. Hey, XIX. Give me 1 minute. I'll get you in here. How to jump from 6.5 to 7 in writing and speaking. You need to figure out what mistakes you're making. So like, maybe you're getting a 6.5 because your task achievement score isn't high enough. Or it might be because you're making too many grammar mistakes, or it might be because your vocab range isn't good enough, or maybe you're making too many spelling mistakes. So it's not that everybody who's getting a 6.5 has the same problem. So you need to find out what your problems are. And from that, then we can you can figure out how to improve them. Okay, so I have XIX here. Let's get you on stage.
Okay. Good evening from Thailand.
Welcome. Good to see you again.
Okay. If there are other people who want to join, I would be pleased to leave the room.
It doesn't look like it. You're more than welcome to be here.
Yeah. I'm about to sleep though.
Is that right? Quick speaking test and off to sleep. Good.
Okay.
Good setup. So we're doing speaking part 2, and I'll share the question with you here. Just 1 second now. Do you have any questions or anything you want to talk about before I show you the question?
Okay, I am currently got a band score of 7.5 in the speaking test, so I have a very large gap between the last time I have practiced speaking, so I don't think I will accomplish very well in this speaking test.
Yeah, all right, and it's nearly bedtime. No worries. So I won't be giving you scores either. I'll just be giving you some general advice on, kind of the main areas that would be worth working on.
Okay.
All right. Okay. I'd like you to describe a journey that you make regularly.
Okay. Let me open the text document for a moment so I can make a short note in this particular question.
No problem.
Oh, okay. journey that you make regularly. So I got to go to
So you still
Lang
have
Suan
30
Alley.
seconds. You still have 30 seconds to make notes.
Oh, BTS. Why did you make this journey and how you feel about the journey? Okay. Okay, I guess I am okay with the speaking.
Okay, you can start speaking now, please.
Okay, there is a certain place that I visit regularly, and I want to say that the place is Lang Suan Alley. I don't know if you know about Lang Suan Alley, but it is a place where people gather when they want to go to a very luxury hotel. And of course, the place contain luxury restaurants as well. I went there 3 months ago, but before that, I went there regularly because I have a place that I want to meet my girlfriend there in the place. In this case, I used to travel there by using BTS SkyTrain. I don't know about you, but BTS SkyTrain is one of the most popular transportation system in Bangkok, and people there in Bangkok oftenly use this transportation system to go from places to places. Back to Lang Suan Alley. Lang Suan Alley contain a lot of places that teenager gathered, like Lang Suan, Lang Suan Lang Suan department store and apartments. So the last time I went there with my girlfriend, I booked a restaurant, a very good restaurant with a very good Chinese plates. So I guess people in Thailand want to go to Lang Suan Alley once in a while, but
Thank you.
okay. I am
And
so sorry. I didn't did good in this one.
all right, no pressure, and it's not the real test, so you're not really in a situation where you have to perform at your highest. But yeah, you did struggle with that a bit more than previous tests, and I've heard you speaking on several occasions. I mean, it's a combination of things. You're live on YouTube. You're ready to go to bed. So you're not. It's not exactly the ideal circumstance, I'm sure. But definitely. So the two main things. You're still quite fluent, but it's clear that you can't think about what to say next,
Of
right?
course.
So what happened there was you're trying to think of many different things to say. What else can you say? I can say this about it, and then I can say that about it. And I liked what you did. You're like, okay, what's the name of the transport system? What's it called? The
BTS
B-
Skytrain.
BTS
BTS
SkyTrain. So
Skytrain. Yeah.
you introduced that, and then you talked more about that, and then came back to the main topic. That's a good way to answer the question, in that you don't have to think of so many different things if you kind of follow that point in more detail and then come back and continue your story. But I still think you could have just made it more about, instead of trying to give me lots of pieces of information about this place, make it
Yeah,
into
I
a
got
story.
to
Like,
develop.
tell me,
Yeah.
tell me about the last time you went there. So
Uh,
then it can just be more clearly a
it,
story that you're remembering, like, okay, and the
yeah,
last
yeah,
time I went there was how many months ago. I was with my girlfriend. We went to this one restaurant.
yeah,
Like,
yeah,
so if you can tell a story that tell about the story that happened to you, it's much easier to think about what to say next, because you're just retelling that story. Whereas when you just try to have lots of little pieces of information about the same topic, it's harder to
uh,
be coherent, and it's harder to stay going for longer. So that would be the
yeah,
first thing. Having said that, your fluency was still good, but it was clear, especially towards the end, you're just like, I have no idea what I'm going to talk about next. I hope I think of something. you know.
Okay, I encourage everybody there in the chat to participate in your lecture. Yeah,
Thanks, XIX.
yeah, don't be so afraid.
For grammar, plurals and subject-verb agreement, those are the two mistakes that you're making most often, right? And then for your pronunciation, the most common mistake would be your chunking, which is where you're pausing in places that you shouldn't be pausing. So a few little bits like that. I mean, overall good, but if you wanted to improve, those would be the areas to work on.
Yeah, thanks.
Any questions for me or anything else you want to talk about before we finish up here?
Yeah, I would definitely take the IELTS test again in 2 years, because I have to take the test again, and I will send my score somewhere else to participate in the bigger part of the world. I hope people there in your channel participate in the lecture. So don't be afraid, people.
Thanks a million, XIX. Talk to you again soon.
Okay.
Take care of yourself.
Goodbye.
Bye. Okay. Thank you, XIX. So a few more comments here. Mina, I have recently taken the IELTS exam and I got 6.5 in writing, while other parts are 8.5, 8.5, 7. Is it doable to raise my writing band score by 1 mark in 2 weeks' time? Because I'm going for writing retake. You want to go from 6.5 to 7.5 in a week. Not necessarily. I don't see any reason why you would. Like, you know, the thing is, like, you know, you've probably got the vocab and grammar ability to get the high scores in reading and listening, but you know, your knowledge of vocab you understand versus the knowledge of vocab you can produce wouldn't necessarily be the same. If you had a higher speaking score, I would say maybe, but based on your speaking score, it's less likely. It's less likely. You might need more than 2 weeks. But again, it depends, why are you not getting your score? So if you're not getting if you're already, let's say, getting like a 7 in grammar and vocab, then probably. But if you're getting 6s in grammar and vocab, then probably not. So, you know, I can't say for sure without seeing your writing, but it would depend on why you're getting those scores. What about our talking? We're doing speaking part 2. What if someone was able to write more than 400 words for task 2, assuming they didn't have any mistakes whatsoever? Would that still be okay? Yep. If you can do that in 40 minutes, but the more realistic situation is, if you're writing longer essays, you won't have enough time to correct your mistakes. Or if you're writing longer essays, you'll go off topic. So the stuff that you talk about won't be relevant. Those are typically the problems we see with longer essays. Would we have to write speaking words on the chat? No. So you can just join me like XIX did. There's a Zoom link. Yeah, so it's kind of like a Zoom link. It's not exactly Zoom, but the same idea. So it's the first comment. You'll find the link in the first comment of the chat. Like you're talking to him next time. Can I be there with you, if you don't mind? I'm not sure if you're talking to me, Amank. That might be a message for another student. I was given the test on the 17th of February without giving a mock test because of not managing the time. I messed up all sections. I should recommend all students do mock test before you're given the test. Well, yeah, there are a few things. If you still need to improve your scores, you'll find out what areas to work on. And the other thing is, if you're feeling nervous about the test, some practice tests can kind of just help you find your rhythm and get a bit more comfortable with the process. Hey, Judith. Lara, I was looking to get one of my reading passages from a past question. I wasn't getting the score I needed in reading, so I practiced reading passages at least once a day. Hence, I got exposed to a lot of passages. Good on you. Good to see you here, Judith. Watching and following. Hey, James. Long time no see. Like you're talking to him and evaluating his speaking. Next time, may I get this golden opportunity of getting evaluated by you, as I really want to improve myself. and want to get a perfect 7. Yes, Amank. So you'll see the comment. If you go to the first comment in our stream here today, you'll see that link. It says link to join me live. So you just click on that and you'll be able to get in here. Yeah, he did do great. He did do great for sure. Make regularly means often. Regularly means often. So a trip you make regularly is like a trip. So somewhere you go often could be like, your trip to work, could be your trip to, local cafe, whatever. But like the trip is when you're on the road, or, when you're in the subway system, or when you're in the taxi, or when you're in the bus, or when you're walking, whatever, that the part where you're in the middle of going to the place. And it's a trip that you do often would be regularly then. My local teacher gives me 6 or 7 in writing, but I don't feel confident with his marking. But at the same time, I don't know any IELTS expert. What can I do? There are plenty of IELTS experts online. There are no shortage of IELTS experts online. Like I was saying, I have corrections as well. So like that's my email address there. If you want to get corrections from me, just send me an email. There are plenty others online, if you find someone else that you would prefer. In general, if you can find someone who's been an IELTS examiner, you'll be a bit more confident that they know what they're doing, because they were trained by IELTS to do the job. They did the job. They kept the job. So you'll know that they're more reliable if that's what you're looking for. But not necessarily. I mean, there are plenty of IELTS teachers who are very, very capable. I've worked with IELTS teachers who were never IELTS examiners, and they're very strong. But I think from the perspective of a student, it's probably easier just to see like, okay, that person has been an examiner, therefore they are reliable. It's not the only measure of a good IELTS teacher, but it's an easy one. It's an easy one. The place where I give mock tests usually gives very hard questions and also very fast listening audios. I get overall 7 from that. Can I expect 7.5 or 8 in the main exam? Not necessarily. Like, I don't know what tests they're giving you, but if they're giving you the official Cambridge IELTS tests, then those scores are reliable. And if they're using tests that weren't produced by Cambridge, then we can expect the scores to be different in the real test. But you should get yourself a Cambridge IELTS book and do some practice by yourself and figure out, what your scores are for reading and listening. Yeah, so you can do that. You can analyze that by yourself. You're out presently. Next live stream, of course. Yeah, absolutely, no problem. Is it true that the CPE is higher than IELTS? What is CPE? I'm getting some medical description of CPE. I don't know what CPE is. CPE. I don't know what that means. I'm not sure what that is. So I can talk about going to the gym on a regular basis. You can talk about what was the question? The trip? The journey. Yeah, so the journey is the part where you're on the road. Yeah, but yeah, you can talk about your trip to the gym. So like your trip from the hospital to the gym, while you're getting there, that the process. So it's not about being in the gym, and it's not about being in the hospital. It's that journey between the two places. So how you get there, how often you do it, who you go, all that stuff. Of course, you can talk about a little bit about the hospital, like, I work in a hospital. This is where I usually go to the gym directly from the hospital, because, you can give all that information and then talk about the journey and then talk about what you do at the gym. But the main part of the story is while you're traveling between the two places. Do you know any free IELTS correction course? I would be really helpful. I give free IELTS corrections in these live streams, and in my live feedback lessons. My one-on-one corrections aren't free. I'm not aware of any other stuff. I don't spend much time looking at other IELTS teachers, to be honest. But generally speaking, I don't know. I don't know anyone. I don't know anyone who's doing that. No. But it takes time. It takes people's time. And if it's someone who's an IELTS expert, it's taken them a long time to reach that level. And it takes time. So in general, people generally don't give their time away for free. Some people will, of course, but it's not a standard practice. But yeah, I'm sure you might find something, but none that I'm aware of. None that I'm aware of beyond the group classes that I have. So my group classes are free. What's the difference in academic and general training IELTS in terms of scores? It's the same thing. The score in the reading test, the reading test is a little bit easier in general training, but you need to get more correct answers for the equivalent score. So really, it's equal. Someone who'd get a band 7 in general training reading would get a band 7 in academic reading. They would get the same score. They would get more answers correct in the general training, but the band score would be the same. So it's very much equal. Cambridge proficiency exam. It's just another language test. I mean, it's not going to be higher. It's not going to be easier or higher, but it would just depend on who accepts it. So, if you're going to a university that accepts both, well, then I guess you have a choice. But from my understanding, most universities would only have one that they'll accept. Thank you, Vision. Okay. Pro code in Cambridge, I usually get 8.5 in both modules, so there is a possibility of me getting a band close to that. Yes, yeah, definitely. It's no problem at all. I don't mind in the least. But thank you for the thought, XIX. I feel really lucky to be able to ask questions directly to an IELTS expert like you. You're a rare find, someone like you. You're very welcome. Good man. Hi, sir. My speaking answers are not creative, and I don't often use advanced words. Does it cause to decrease my score? No, it's actually the right thing to do. It's the right thing to do. You don't need to be creative, and you're not getting scores. You're not getting a score for being creative. Like, your score is based on the quality of your language and your delivery. So being creative is just making more work for you and would interfere with your fluency. So what you're doing is right. And the same goes for vocab. Like, you should be using the vocab that you're most comfortable using, not vocab that, you see someone else use a word and you're like, whoa, that sounds good. Like, those aren't the words you should use. You should be using the words you can use, not the words that someone else can use. So a lot of people, they trick themselves, they fool themselves into using words they cannot use. They reduce the clarity of their speaking and the clarity of their writing because they're using words they cannot use. So it's not a good strategy. What you've just described is exactly what I would recommend. Is IELTS practice test plus IELTS trainer good for practice, sir? IELTS practice test plus. I don't know. I'm not aware of them. IELTS practice test plus. I've never heard of them. I don't know. To be honest, I wouldn't really be in a situation to start like insulting other people online. It's not really what I'm made of. I mean, if they were terrible, I probably wouldn't say it anyway. But like, you got the reliable ones. Like, you got like a IELTS Advantage, IELTS Liz, IELTS Simon, E2, IELTS Daily, of course. So, you got plenty of reliable resources out there. This particular one, I don't know, so I can't comment on them. Hi, Atit. You're late, no problem. In fact, we're just about to finish up here. I just have another 2 comments and we'll leave it there. Does accent help to improve pronunciation? No, not really. I mean, you can get band 9 and have it sound like you come from the country you come from. But your accent can interfere with your pronunciation, but it doesn't, I wouldn't say that it would improve pronunciation. Hi, Mandeep. They're like Cambridge books, but a bit harder with faster audio, sir. Okay. Okay. Again, I'm not that aware of it. Mandeep, no problem. I had my lesson an hour earlier today than normal. So like XIX pointed out, that's potentially why we don't have as many people, but regardless, no problem whatsoever. Let's finish up there for today. I'll be back next week. I have another live stream on another part of the test. Let me check now and I'll tell you. Next week is a Q&A. So we'll just be doing a Q&A next week. I have a live feedback lesson tomorrow. If you want to join me for that, you will find the link in the video description. And if you want one-on-one support, that's my email address there. So yeah, that's it for now. Until next time, take care of yourselves and best of luck to those of you with tests coming up. Bye-bye.